Okay, so let me adjust the screen a little bit. Okay, in order to make is easier to monitor it. That's the thing is changed or not because I don't want to speak just one page for all lectures. Okay, so let's get started for the last chapter, which is the creation and diffusion of the cultures. So I hope 33 students who enroll in this course understand something more in terms of the effects of the culture and also the consumer's behavior in overall. So that is the point that actually all marketers need to understand the consumer first before you doing any strategies or you doing any activities. Of course, understand yourself, understand the consumers should be the most important things that you need to do. Okay, but so we walk for a long ways from the beginning of the class, and today this is the last semester. This is the last chapter. Okay, so let's talk about the creation and diffusion of the cultures. So on these pictures that's presented, so you have McDonald, and then they have Y, or just make the hand attached together. So this is the symbolic greeting for many countries, including Thailand. So McDonald is not Thai. McDonald is from Western cultures, but it is moved to here. And also Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola trying to penetrate or trying to go to many cultures by using the their own language, the language that is used in different countries. So they can create some emotion and some of the participation through the marketing strategies. So that is the reason why if you're doing with the cross-cultural marketing, you need to understand the consumers in terms of the culture as well. Not just you want to sell the product and you don't care any other people. So sometimes different cultures might have different result for the same product. Okay. So what we're gonna teach? Oh, sorry. I cannot. Okay. So after you finish this chapter, you need to understand in many points. First one is style. So style is actually the things that underline or behind your cultural conditions. So different people have different style, and it's actually the reflections of the things that you have behind in terms of the cultures. Then we will talk about the difference thing between high cultures and low cultures. Don't get confused between high context culture and low context culture. So that is the previous chapters, but for now, high and low culture. Then for now, we are in the modern world that marketers can control or can do something that's change your perception and change your uh, interpretation. For example, you have been watching the TV's program that showing drinking is okay. So you keep watching drinking in many movies and many series. So you have the feeling which is, oh, drinking that's okay and acceptable, but even is quite bad for your health. So this is how reality engineering is coming. And also some that is the bad part, but they're also doing the good part as well. If you have the campaign like drink don't drive, so you playing many times and the consumer will learn about that, then they will prevent any situation like if they drink they will not drive. So that is the things that you can do too. So I did not say reality engineer is good or bad, but it depends on the content or the purpose of your uh, study. And then we have the new products, service, and idea. So this things that is new. So it will spread around the world for now, especially. So you cannot just spread through the country, but for now, you just click and post something, and then it will spread very fast. But the point is, not all people will accept it. Some people do not want to change, but you need to aware because if you change something that is very new, some people don't want to do it because it's new for them. So they are not familiar with the things that you just present. So make sure that you realize something before you launch it. Okay. Then, okay. Then after that, we will talk about the fashion. So how we create the fashion. Then how fashion can affect to the consumer behavior as the equipment of the marketers. So we will learn about that. We will learn about CPS, cultural process system. Then we'll learn about the process of the fashion, how it's flow. Because fashion is actually happen fast and die fast. So that is the characteristic. And then they will say again, don't fail to think about the effects of the cultural things on the consumptions. Because if you don't really understand what consumer think, what consumer want, you might lose a chance to have some uh, market share from the consumer because they don't agree or don't like your idea. And last one, so we have a huge influence from the Western culture, especially for America. So you have been watching many TVs, many movies, many drama, and many songs from Western world. So that's make you feel like you want to be like some people. You want to do like some people. You want to consume like some people. So that is a huge impact. I would not say that's bad, but some country adapt it, some country accept it, and some country ban it. That is the things that we need to concern. Okay. Then, where does popular cultures come from? So many times we talk about cultures. It's actually not the culture in terms of nationality. So, but we talk about the popular culture, which is the thing that is interested in that time. No, the thing that is interesting at that time. So they said popular cultures can rise from many sources, and actually it has the symbolic connection. So it should have two parts here. So first one, it should be popular. That is the reason why we call pop culture. Then it must link to the symbolic issues. So in this case, we have some example that is very famous, like sushi. So sushi is actually the Japanese food. Then it's become famous right now. You can have the sushi almost everywhere in the world. Then high-tech furniture. So we perceive that the new style of the furniture is looking good. So you would like to have that type of furnitures. And also the modern architecture. So see, we have the house that is have the old fashion or the classic fashion. But for now, we have different style in terms of loft, like the very bare for the skin, like my house over here. So we do not want to paint. We need to make it like basic things, and we use the steel instead of the brick, or we use the roof in different styles. So this is the modern architecture. Then you use a lot of Twitters for a long time. Some people crazy about that too. And last one, skinny vanilla latte. So this is a specific type of the coffee that usually order when you go to some coffee shop because this type is the coffee for person who concerned about their health. So skinny. Skinny is they gonna use the soy milk instead of the cow milk because it's make you feel like it's healthier and it's not gain you will not gain fat a lot. So this is how popular culture in one place can diffuse or can just spread through the other cultures. Then we are influenced by the flow of the popular culture. That's actually true. Consumers can be overwhelmed with this choice. Think about the choice that you have from now. You have too many choices. It's not just like in the past that you have just a few that you can select. It's very easy. But for now, for example, about the songs, you can have many style of the song. You can have the songs directly from the singer, the song directly from the people who love to compose the song, not just with the big company like in the past. So for now, we have many choice, but think about you have many choice, but you select just a few choice. What is the process of selection? So the process of selection is called the cultural selection process. So this is how this is how this is how we need to understand the process of making the pop cultures and how it affects to the consumers. So this picture is presenting the movement of the meaning. It means if you have pop cultures, like here on the right hand side, you have cultural values and the symbol. So again, you need to have the thing that is famous in terms of the popular values. Then you have the symbolic things. After that, the marketers will use advertising and fashion system to transfer the cultural values and symbols into the products of the consumers. So they on your right hand side, that is the flow, but your left hand side, that is the tools. So marketers use advertising and fashion system to be the equipment, to be the tools of delivering the cultural values and the symbols to the consumer's products. And then they also have some strategy in terms of the consumption rituals. Like they will make you buy again and again. You might see that marketer trying to convince you to consume more and more because they want to have the consumption. So if you have the consumption, that is going to transfer to individual consumers consumption. So in conclusion from this page, they said advertising and fashion play a key role in cultural create meaning. So again, you have cultural values, you have the thing that is popular, and you have the symbolic things. Then, is it our job that use advertising and also the fashion system to transfer those meaning, those values from the concept to the products? And then you use the consumption rituals that's transferred from the products to be the individual consumption. Like for example, here they said they link functional products at the symbolic quality of the sexiness. So you might have the cultural values in terms of having a good health, having a slim shape. Then you create a hourglass shape is the best thing. Like many women want to have that type like hourglass shape. Then they create and they send the message because they want to have more consumption. They need to create the awareness. So they link to the word sexiness. So in this case, you will see the marketer have the values or the cultural issues. Then they're trying to send a message to the consumers by using some products, which is going to be some coffee that you drink and then you get slimmer, or some whey protein that you can consume and make you lose your weight, like that. Okay. Then the last sentence is we use the product to create and express your identity. So that is the last step because the things that you consume is actually reflect the things that you have or the style that you have. right this way. Okay. Okay. Then, if you remember, I just talked about we have the cultural values. We have many choices that you might have known. For example, for now, when you think about the food, a food product for breakfast, so you have lots of choice. But how you gonna select it? That is the things here. So we call the winning winnowing process as the cultural selection. So let's talk about this once again. You have many choice, you have many product, and some product have the meaning. But among the abundance of the choice among too many choices, why you select just one or two? Like for me, I went to 7-Eleven. I have a lot of choice that I can select, but I draw the conclusion. I want to eat just these products. So it's actually happened with the cultural products production process or CPS. Have actually cultural production system. So it's actually you have the funnel like the filter. So you put everything on the top, which is many choice. Then you have filter. Then it's just filter the things just for a few. That is the reason why you remove the other things out. So we said we select the certain choice according to this uh, cultural selection. And then in this part of funnel, they have three subsystems that we're going to talk about the next page. But for now, what I would like to ask you to remember is if you have many choice, you will have cultural production system or CPS to filter from many choice to just a few choice. And then if you still have a few choice, you also have the cultural gatekeepers, the person who will make some reviews, the person who's gonna give some comment. And finally, you might have only one or two or may not have any products at the end. Of course, you have two big systems that filter your choice. So that is the overview of the cultural production process. Then let's talk about the blue color, which is the first big part that I mentioned. So CPS is stand for Cultural Production System. So cultural production system is actually said when you have to create the pop culture. It's actually not just one people or just one company. It must have many people or many organizations who help to create that situation or that trend. Because the cultural production system is a set of individuals and organizations who create and market the cultural products in terms of the cultural meaning. So I would say that's again. So we have the funnel. Then this funnel is actually combine many people and many organizations, not just only one or two. And then for this purple part, they have three little units combined together. The first one we call creative subsystem. So creative subsystem, managing subsystem, and communication subsystem. So they work together to create the cultural meaning. So creative system. Creative subsystem is actually generate a new symbolic and products. Then managerial system, they select, make, produce, and manage and distribute the new symbolic things to the product. Then communication, they give the meaning. So C, creative, managerial, and communication work together as the subunit for making the filtration, the, the selection. So after you have this one, the creation, the CPS, sorry. Then, as I mentioned before, that is the first big part, the funnel, the purple one. And the second very big part is going to be cultural gatekeepers. So who is the cultural gatekeepers? So actually they can be any people who can give some comment or who can do the review. For example, you might have movies, restaurant, or car reviewers. You can have when you want to build a new house, you're gonna ask the designer, interior designer to help you to make the decision. When you have a new song, this jockey is gonna be the person who listen that song first and then convince you to listen again or retail buyers and also the magazine editors. So all of them are the cultural gatekeepers. So you have many choice. You have filtration of the cultural production system, and then you have the second part, which is cultural gatekeepers. So C, that is the reason why after this process, you can have just a few choice, and those few choice can be the pop culture. So this is how popular culture created. Then the next thing that I would like to ask you to try to understand, which is the high cultures and low cultures. So remember like this way, if you think about um, art and craft, so they have two words here, which is you need to differentiate. So art is actually the object that we admire. Then we love and we want to have this product because of emotional response. But if it's craft or low popular culture, it's actually the product that you create for function. You did not concern about the beauty. So how I remember. So if you have the product and then you focus mainly on the beauty, how it look, or is it good to have on the body or on the other as the decoration or not? This is emotion response. So this is art. But craft, craft is for function. How it's going to be used? What is the function of this product? So this is craft. And they also said mass culture create a product in terms of mass market because they want to produce a lot of things. So mass cultures can create the huge impact of the market. So mass market can be both art and craft, but for art, again, they want to have that product in terms of beauty. So if you have a new product, then they all love with the design. So that is beauty. This is art. But if you building, if you creating a chair that you sit and is very comfortable to sit, so this is function. This is craft. So they would say a craft trained to follow a formula that's permit rapid production because craft need to work as the function. So they need to produce fast too. But art, like the artist draw the painting, so they spend a while of the time or spend some time to finish it. Okay. Then cultural familiar. So mass culture produce the mass productions again because actually in reality you need to produce the things that easy to produce and spread fast because we need to have the consumption. So they said normally you need to have the average taste or the taste in majority, like in the middle. You will not do like some very limited of part of any preference. So you need to think about what they're gonna like in the most, then do it. So some example of cultural formula is like think about movies. You have fighting movies, you have drama movies, you have documentary movies. So this actually the cultural formula. Or when you read some books, you can have the type in terms of romantic novel or detective novel. So this is recycle things. So sometimes they might popular and then they just fade off. Then it comes again. So comes again and just move back and forth here. We call actually the recycling of the image. So if you remember, we have three subsystems, and one of them is creative subsystem, which is they're gonna produce the meaning, like here, generate a new, sorry, generate the new symbol and products. So in here, creative subsystem gonna be the part that make you feel like you want to have that again, or they said back through the time of inspiration. So remix about the time, like if they think, oh, from this time some car would be returned, for example Volkswagen. So Volkswagen is the car that we have been used for a long time, but the popularity is reduced because we have the other brand. But the marketer think, oh, we can make it happen again because for now they have more power of buying. So this is the recycling image, and actually it's follow the cultural formula as well. So to make this more clear, let me give you some example on the cultural formula that is very famous, and also I think you must know what it is. For example, when we have about the theme of the classic Western, so what you're gonna have, you're gonna think about the time that is gonna be around 1800. Like then you have the cowboys, you have the outlaw or the robber, you have the cowboy hat, you have the boot, you have the horse, you have the rifle. So the component that make you think about the main topics, that is actually the member of the cultural family. So how about sitcom, situation comedy that you watching on the television or on your YouTube? So sitcom or situation comedy should have first father, mother, should have kids and dog and neighbor. Neighbor gonna be both good and bad neighbor too. And then yeah, they're gonna have the car, and the topics that they present is gonna be they fight together sometime, they taking care of their kids. So this is how we have the pictures in your mind. The same thing. Cultural familiar is the part that is very important for the marketers because you need to make sure that they have the same pictures as you created. Then reality engineering. So they said changing the things that happen in the real world is actually it's not quite easy, but sometimes the marketer can do that too by using some technique to control their belief and their perception. But I would say they are not able to control 100%. They just give you some belief and some perception and some information. Then it's actually your decision to change or to accept it. So they said many consumer environment have the characteristic, yeah, because actually, we live in this society. You can have some environment that you remember that have some influence to you. But the marketer job is if they know that they can have the regret or just tie up again, just return something back again. So they said make or do overs again. So marketer use popular cultures as the promotion vehicles to make this happen. For example, if on my age, ripped jeans or used jeans is the things that look pretty cool. Like, oh, it look good, but it's disappeared for a while, and then marketer said, I think used jeans should be popular again. So you create a new campaign as the new vintage, and then you use the teenage then wear the used jean and then send the message as we can look good with the used jean, like this one. So marketer just trying to reconnect it, trying to reconnect about the things that ever happened, but in the other form. Okay, so how marketers gonna do? So marketer will do by using media ability to distort the consumer perception of the reality. It sounds bad, right? But actually, we call the culturations hypothesis. So this is how marketer trying to convince you by using the advertising. So they said reality engineering can be performed for entertainment or to change significant things in your life. For example, smoking. If you present how it's bad when you smoke many times, the consumer must have new information and they learn about it. Sorry, they learn about it, and then you might send some more message to to change their mind, like smoking is not good anymore. Then also you can have the campaign about losing the weight to prevent the bad disease, to prevent the heart disease, like that. So that is some example of the how marketers able to change your perception. But actually, as I mentioned again, it's actually they provide some information, they convince you, but it's actually their own decisions to change or to accept. But think about this one. If you listen something a long time, if you see something many times, it should be very easy to change your perception, right? Or this is the classic case that many country have the problem, which is you watch television and TV program or televisions have overestimate about rich people. So they they send the message like if you have the very big house, you're gonna be rich people. You have the waiter or waitress helping you, you are rich people. So how is bad? Because that is the image that many people want to be, and it's become materialism. Then they also said, like sometimes you fear about the violence that might happen when you uh, walk on the road at night. So how this meaning happened? Because the TV program just present when you walk alone in the dark, they may have the robber, they may have some people who gonna hit you and then just take some money from you. So this is how advertising can change the reality. So we call reality engineering. But I just mentioned, so sometimes media show too much consumptions of like alcoholic or smoking. That makes some specific time in the past, Thai people who smoking is look great. So that is not normal, but they did it because they have some advertising technique. Then when you watch televisions, you will see sometime, or not just television, maybe just on the YouTube or maybe on the game shows like that. They're trying to present some product on the frame. So we call that one is product placement or branded entertainment. They did that because they want to ask to send a message to you like use these products. So if you see something very often, you have more familiar. Then it is very easy for you to select the one that you ever seen. So they said insert a specific product or brand name to the media, like this one. Why is Pepsi? Why is Starbucks coffee? Because actually they planned it. But they have good and bad thing. Good thing is you will get used to it of familiar very fast. Or sometimes you go to the department store and you have no choice. You're gonna select the choice that you ever seen. That's for sure. But is this bad? If it's bad in terms of if the placement or the products that you would like to present is not matched with the theme, like you, sorry, it's not matched or not going well with the theme that you select. So they said, like here, it can be negative influence if the message are not congruent with the plot. So like here, what does it mean? Reese is actually chocolate, and you have ET. The first time I watched this one, and what does this mean? So they did not have the clear connection. So in this case, you may have some confusions or some question. Why is combined together? So this is the bad case of the product placement. Okay. Then we talk about advert gaming. So advert gaming is a technique that for now many brands use it because actually advert gaming is they create the games then ask the consumer to play the games. So when you're playing the game, you will know the process to make it, and then you become a part of that process and become a part of the product's branding. Why I said that? Because like here, Dairy Queen Tycoon, actually the game. So they ask the consumer who and send the link and ask the consumer to play. After that, they know how to control the process on Dairy Queen, how to make an ice cream, how to make the food product, how to serve the water. So again, more participation, more royalty because they know the process. So this is how advert gaming work. Then we heard this word many times. Innovation. So actually innovation is mean something new. New in terms of manufacturing technique. You have new process to produce the product. Or you have the new product variation. You have the other choice more than existing choice. You have new ways to send your product like and in the past you send via EMS, the post office, the post police no, the postman. But for now, you send by the other company, by maybe send via email, maybe send to with the drone. So that is how you deliver the product. Then new way of the package of the product. So you have the new label that makes something more important. Then marketers need to encourage adoption of the new products. How are they going to do it? Because something new is not quite easy to accept. It's very easy to deny because if something new, that means you will not know about it. So this is the campaign that Toyota make it because they concerned about diffusion of innovation because not all people will accept it. So they said successful innovation spread through the population in various rates. So but what they can do, they create a campaign by asking the consumer to submit the idea. So it's like if you want to have a new product, what is the product that you would suggest our company to produce? Then you collect the new idea. Then you're trying to follow with the consumer thought. So this is how Toyota cleverly used the innovation in terms of the participation. Okay, so this is how um, life cycle of new products or innovation products happen. It's actually normal product also have uh, this life cycle. At first, I said the wrong thing. Sorry. Actually, we talk about the product, the adopter or the person who accept the new product. Sorry. So This is life cycle of the product. You can have introduction state, growth state, maturity state, and decline. So let's think about this one first. You have a new product, and then if something new, the growth rate is not quite fast. But after that, if it's popular, the growth rate is increased. Then it can steady for a while. But if you can maintain the maturity state, it's going to be good for your business. But after that, the popularity is not quite good, so it's reduced in the popularity and then it's removed. So this is how products work. But think about in terms of adopter. So we have different type of people along the life cycle of the product. You can have just 2.5% of innovators who will brave to try everything new. But they after you have innovator, you're gonna have early adopter. So this is the group that they want to try the new things too, but they will not the first one who try it. They just wait for maybe a while, just the short term to see what's happened, and then they're gonna do it. But the majority of the people in this world is early maturity and late maturity. So they will wait for the certain time and until they sure this is good. So if they sure they're gonna consume it. And the last part is laggard. So laggard is actually like you accept the product very slow, gonna be the last person who accept the new product. Okay, so this is how we need to concern about this one too, because not all people want to try the new things. But for me, I would ask you to focus on early maturity. But early maturity must come from the result from early adopter and innovation. So that is the reason why for now we take a look a lot about the review. We take a look about the results a lot. Okay. Then let's talk a little bit more about innovation. So innovation can be classified into three types here. First one is continuous innovation. So actually this one is the most innovation that happen around us. So it's just change small things, just change like ingredient, just change the style, just change the model. So this is continuous, but dynamically continuous innovation is actually have the significant change. Like for now, we have the hybrid car, or we have the mobile phone that is we can use the sounds to control the mobile phone. So this is change and it have quite impact, but it's not huge impact like the last one. This continuous innovation. This continuous is mean it's not linked. So that means if you invent something very new, that is actually discontinuous, like for the airplane. So you have the time that you can travel with the airplane. It's actually from the very old time that they create the airplane. So at that time, that is innovation of the the, the people in that time. The car, the computer, and television. All example here is discontinuous because compare between before and after that the product invented. So they have very huge or very significant difference between before and after invented. Okay. Then let's talk a little bit more about adoption because if you understand about this part, you will make the consumer agree or accept more products on the concept. The first one you should have is compatibilities. Compatibility is actually that innovation should be easy to use or should get along well with them, not make them feel like I need to pay attention too much to use this product. No, not like that. Trialability. So let's make the product and then you show to the consumer and consumer can try it, can have some experience from trying. And third one, complexities. So it should not be too complex. It should be easy to understand. Try to make the product easiest as possible. So it's would like if you have uh, a new product, then you might create how to mix it in the easiest way or how to compose to be the new product. Don't spend a long time or don't make the people who buy the new product or innovation get straight about it. Observability. That means innovation are easily to observe and able to see widely or publicly. So if you are new or if your innovation is easy to see, so that is a good thing. Relative advantage. So you must have this one because product should offer something that is different from the other choices. So let's make it have more value, it have more significant effects to uh, the usage. So if you have compatibility, triability, compatibility, observability, and relative advantage, your people, your consumers will accept your product very easy. So let's review this again. So I just explained if you have the popular cultures, so that is past this process. So we have cultural value and symbolic things, and then marketers use the advertising and fashion system to to be as a tool to send or to deliver the concept from the cultural values to the product, and then the marketer gonna use the consumption rituals that transfer from the consumers to the individual consumption. So we focus on the first two, which is fashion system and advertising system. So fashion system is the equipment or the tools that we use to send the cultural values or symbolic things into to the products. So what is actually fashion system? So fashion system is actually can be the people or organization who involved in creating the new symbolic meanings or transferring the meaning to the product. So it's actually like I just talked. So we focus on the first step here. Here, advertising and fashion system is the equipment for changing or transferring cultural value and symbolic things to the products. So fashions can be many uh, meaning, can have many meaning. Fashion can be code, which is help us to translate the meaning. So fashion, for example, you have urban fashion and you have rural fashion. The fashion in the countryside and fashion in the city. So you have the meaning about that. Fashion is the context dependent. So sometimes fashion can be interpreted different ways. It depends on the consumer and depends on the style. So one people might see fashion different ways. Then fashion is undercoded because when you have fashion, it might have different meaning in each people. So some students ask me, Ajahn, fashion is context dependent and undercoded. How is different? So it's actually different in terms of the first one, context content, is mean you're going to interpret according to the situation that you have. But not all people are going to interpret in the same way. But for the last one, undercoded, is actually you interpret or you give the meaning in each people differently. So the first one, we have the situation. You can have the details, you can have the information to be the different things. But for undercoded, it's actually the different meaning in terms of yourself, in terms of the consumer's perception. Then behavioral science perspectives and models of the fashion. So they said fashion is very complex. Fashion is not just very easy things to understand because it's operate in many levels and it can be affects to the society and also affects to yourself as the individuals. So there are many perspectives on original attribution of the fashion. So that's mean we can have many perspectives or many points of view of the fashion. First one, psychological perspective. So psychological perspective is actually fashion, how fashion motivate, how, sorry, how fashion is motivated. Like if you want to conform with the Thai nationality, so you have Thai fashion that the formal dress that you're gonna wear in very special event. So that is psychological thing because you want to wear the same thing. Or sometimes fashion is about economics, like supply and demand. Like in the wartime, we have the fashion in terms of the clothes that use 100% cotton. So this is some example because at that time cotton is very cheap one and easiest and easiest way to produce. Sociological perspective. So they said fashion sometimes it can have the influence from subcultures adoption, idea or style. Or last one, no. Actually, we have three perspectives: psychology, economics, and psychological. Last one is actually the memes or the theories of meme. So let's talk about the meme first. Meme is actually the idea or the product that enter when you aware. So if you know, oh, this is the things that we understand. This is the product that we have. So this is a meme. But we can use a meme as the medical model. So medical model is not actually the real model. It's actually the concept of spreading. So they said meme theory is used when you want to see something happen in the past. So like you have heard a lot like meme. That is the things. So again, meme theory can use to explain how something become popular seemingly all of the sudden. So it means if you have something as the fashion and then it's very interesting, then it's popular. So meme theory can be explained because if something popular and significant to the consumer, it's gonna spread through many channels. And when it spread, it's gonna go fast. So go fast like virus. So that is the reason why we classify sometimes as the medical model for meme theories. Okay. So here are example of how motive and psychological models affects to the fashion. Because psychological things, you're concerned about the need and want, then something in your mind. So we would like to have the fashion sometime in terms of conformity. You want to be the same as the other people or as the majority of the group, or you want to have something new. So we can use the term like you looking for the new thing for the fashion. Like some people, every year they're gonna have the new fashion. They're gonna keep watching what is the new for the next year, like this one. Then need to express the personal creativity. Sometimes we have the fashion designer. They will create the new things. So this is how motives happen in terms of the fashion as well. And sexual attraction. So this is the reason why some girls want to show their body and some guys want to show their muscle. So it's about what you need to present to the other people. So it's actually the fashion as well. So how I link to the fashion actually, so the dress that you wear, the clothes that you wear also link to the sexual attraction. Think about why guys would like to wear very fit t-shirt because he want to present the muscle, six pack or like that one. Okay. So this is how fashion happen. So fashion happen almost the same as product life cycle. So here is fashion life cycle. So it have the introduction stage, acceptance stage, and regression stage. we have at the beginning we have the steady state, and we can have the state that is reduced. Like here, think about the fashion in terms of the music. If you have the new song from your favorite single, the first time you heard the song is actually introduction stage. That is a small number of the music innovator hear a song. So n- not just a few people who listen to the new song, but after that you keep hearing the new songs again and again. That is the acceptance stage because you feel like, oh, you like it, you want to hear many times. So if the song is still interesting, it's still in the acceptance stage. But if the song become if you get bored about the song and you don't want to listen too much, so that is the regression stage. So the song that the number of the time that you're gonna listen is just reduced. So the same thing, the same as the products. So fashion sometimes come fast and go fast. Fashion cannot be uh, s- popular for a long time. Sometimes fashion is just a moment. So that is the reason why we should have the definition in terms of the fashion and fad. So a classic fashion is one that extremely long acceptance cycle. If something that have long terms or long time for using, that is the classic. For example, you have the classic for wearing jeans. But what is fad? Fad is one of the very short cycle. Fast is like um, if you have the new clothes is for punk, something like that, and then it's just have a short, very short time that is famous, and after that it's gone. So here is the conclusion between fashion, classic fashion, and normal fashion. So again, fad is very short life cycle. So it's come fast and go fast. But fashion is just have a while of the time. It can have the time maybe just 1 year like that. But extremely long is going to be classical fashion. It can have longer time to be accepted. So the thing that is interesting is how we can differentiate between classical fashion and the fashion. So I would say it's actually about the duration of the time. So if it's fashion, it begins slowly, but they have the diffusion fast, peak, and retreat to the obscurity. So it's have the curve like the bell curve. But for classic one is have longer duration of the time. So they can have longer time or high longer time to be accept. They said extremely long acceptance cycle and is have stability. So this is the keyword. That means even the people did not like that, but it's still okay for a long time. So here is example of the products mentioned in the textbooks. We have many type of that, but I did not want you to remember. I just want to let you know that actually we have many type of the fat. We have true fat, which is the blue one. So is have just a two peak, but the cyclical fat is have many peak. But for the fat to franchise, it also have many peak, but it's more frequent. But for generational fat, is have just two peak, but for a long time too. So again, I did not want you to remember this one, but just want to let you know that they actually classify the fat in different type. But for me, fat is actually the concept, which is it's come fast and go fast. Like for me, I know the pictures on the top right corner. This is the dolls. Its name Trolls is the evil like the small guys that have long hair. But I don't know. At that time I just know it and then it's just disappear fast. So this is the example of that. How you know this is fad? So you can know this is fashion or fad by answer these questions, these six following questions. But actually the concept is fad is gonna be happen if it doesn't have the meaning. It doesn't link with the function. It's come and it's go fast. It's gain a quick acceptance, but is get bored or is die fast too. So again, the concept is if that thing is bad, it's have not quite have meaning. The meaning is not important. It just come fast and go fast. So if it's happen like that one, that is bad. Then cultural difference and marketing. So we would aware that in this world, in this in different regions, we have their own preference. You have your own popular cultures. So marketers want to aware of the culture in each country and each region. If not, it's gonna be the problem if you do something wrong for the brand and the products in terms of the cultures. Like the classical case, Thai people believe in the Buddha. So some country trying to produce the food products that have the Buddha image. And also recent news, we have the Thai people who create the snack in terms of the Buddha amulet, the the monk, the Buddha in terms of the items that you normally wear with your neck, like on the necklace. But it's bad, cause it's my affects to the feeling of the person who believe in the Buddha. So if you don't aware this one, your product's gonna be bad too. So they said managing the global characteristic of brand about the culture on the host country. So you must aware the culture in the country that you're gonna send or you doing the business. They said think globally, act locally. So if you have standardized strategy that is you can use to almost everywhere in the world, that is good. Of course, it's gonna be save your money. But sometimes you need to use the localized strategies to draw attention and to make them feel different, to 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 make them love your products more. So standardized is okay. You can use just only one time and you can use for long for all countries, for all cultures. But it might not hit in their consumer mind because it's not close to them. For example, if you can do something like if you have new KFC, then you want to have some demands from Thai people. So you might think might be create KFC in terms of uh, stir fry basil or kaprao and add to the chicken. Then you're trying to make Thai people who have Thai culture love your products. This is localized strategies. Then, according to the study, they have some result which is when you think about the global brand and from the people around the world, around 41 countries, we can classify people into four groups. First one, global citizens. So this group of people, this group of consumers, they look global brand as the signal of the quality and innovation. For example, Nike brand. So some country like in Japan or in China, they see Nike as the global citizen because they think if you use Nike, that is the most uh, that is the best quality in these terms. Then we have global dreamers. So global dreamer is different from the first one in terms of they they see the brand as the quality product and readily buying into the meat by others. That's mean, for example, when you think about iPhone, you think about Steve Jobs. So you might not think like the Nike product that is famous and very innovative, but for the global dreamers, you think about good products, and then you have part of the belief from the inventor. In this case, as the Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs try is the logo or the image that you always have when you think about Apple iPhone. So or no, that is good enough, I think. And then anti-globals. So anti-global is the group of people who don't like the brand, especially for the American uh, perception, American cultures. So they ban with the global brand. So they will not use the product that have the brand name. And last one, global agnostic. So this group of people do not care about the famous, the popularities of the brand. They just think it should be the same as the local. They don't treat it special. So it sounds like some people just get confused between these first two choice again. So I would make this again. Some group of people, they crazy about the brand name. So they gonna go for the global citizens, which is the brand is the signal of the quality and innovation. But if you are in the group of global dreamer, you see global brand as a quality product. So it is a good product and you buy it because you believe in uh, what the inventor or what the founder say. So they have the personal issues that get involved, not just for the brand name. Okay. Then emerging consumer cultures in transitional economies. So transitional economy is the country that changing about their economies. So we have this problem because those countries that changing economies from poor to be developing, like this one, they are very easy to be influenced because they might feel like materialism is the best. Materialism is make them wealthy. It's make them rich. So we have the process called creolization. So creolization is happen when some meanings or some object is mixed to the local meaning, for example, which is actually not present the real things or the real meaning. So they said these are permutation or wrong interpretation because they just perceive something and then just interpret in different ways, not just the real concept. It's like uh, people in Peru or Peruvian boys carry the rock painted like radios. Why they do that? Because in America we have the black people who carrying very big radios and open the loud noise and just dance like hip hop style. So they perceive about this information and they think this is good. Then they want to do it, but the interpretation is because you're carrying the rock, painting right the radio. What it is? It's actually they want to become like those people. So seems like the interpretation is bad because it's not linked the same thing. Or she was Regal wrapper or the stickers of the she was Regal is stick on the drum. What does this mean? It means that the drinking alcoholic, especially for Chivas Regal, is very good things that they want to have. Of course, it make them special. So you have misinterpretation in terms of having the Chivas Regal stickers make you feel good, or Japanese using the words like as the words that is good or the best. Like in Japan, they use the word coke is like special things. So like you do very cool things like this one. That is actually weird. Like it's actually strange, not normal. So this is some example of sometime cultures in one country when it's sent to the other country, it can misinterpretation. It can make something wrong with the meaning. So in summary, again, style or the choice that you select is have some influence on the cultures that you perceived. Don't forget to differentiate between high and low cultures. So we have art and craft products. Art is for beauty, craft is for function. Then for now, marketers use reality engineering concepts to send the message to try to convince the people. So it's have good and bad thing. Good thing is like you can stop uh, drunk driving, you can stop people from smoking. But the bad thing is you're trying to make them feel more materialisms, like consume something a lot is good. Having a good house, having a new car, having a big house is good. So be careful. New products spread through many countries, but the way that each people accept it is not the same. Some people don't accept the new concept. It is very new, so they might take some time to learn and accept it. So remember about the adoption cycle. Then fashion system is created and communicated symbolic for the consumer. So think about cultural processing system like the filter. So fashion system is the equipment that is used for transferring from the meaning of the culture to the products. Then fashion follows cycle. Fashion is can happen as the cycle as well, and it can come fast and go fast too. It depends on the type. Product that is success in one people might not be okay in the other country. I said people, right? No, sorry. Product that is good, that is very successful in one country might not be have the same level of acceptance in the other country because the people might not think the same thing, and it's actually the marketer jobs to aware and to study before you launch their products or use any strategies. And we need to admit that Western cultures play a huge impact on our cultures. As we have the theme, we have the movies, we have the products, and then we believe this is good. So, but for now, trust me, many people just think materialism as the key concept for Western culture is good. Self-sufficiency or having just enough things, consume it, the things that is not overconsumption is better choice, especially for the COVID-19. So that's all for these chapters, and that's all for consumer behaviors for this semester too. Thank you so much for watching, and feel free to send email to me if you need some more explanation or need me to do anything else that I can do. I will try my best to answer your email as soon as possible. And thanks again for enrolling in this course, and I hope you get some knowledge and have a good job, have a better, brighter futures for anyone who's gonna graduate. So thanks again for being a good student, and I would love to teach you guys. And don't forget to develop yourself. Keep doing a good things for you for the country that you was born. So thanks again. Bye bye.